Okay, without further ado, I think we straight away start with our brief lab session. Okay. Okay, first of all, I would like to wish all of you, either Muslim or non-Muslim, happy Hari Raya, okay, and happy holiday. And I believe tomorrow, most of us will have another 1 day of holiday, which is Wesak Day. Okay, happy holiday to all of you as well. Okay, right. And I would like to wish again, Selamat Hari Raya, maaf zahir batin. Okay, please forgive me for anything mistakes that I've done as well. Okay, right. Okay, without further ado, we just continue with our brief lab session lah. Right. Okay, by right, actually, in the last minute, I'm thinking of to make it as a asynchronous session, because I think most of the content, okay, requires you to follow the step by steps given in the lab notes. Okay, you need to take some time to perform the installation and to do a basic web programming lah. Okay, but since I have mentioned to you to have an online session, then I just continue lah with the online session, but it's supposed to be very brief lah. Okay, right. Okay, before I continue, everybody can hear my voice and can see the slide, which is a LabW6 web server I've shared. Anybody please respond? Can
Yes,
you?
sir.
Okay, very good. Okay, right. So without further ado, we continue lah with our lab session. As I mentioned, it's supposed to be a very brief session. Okay, and later on, I will give you ample of time for you to practice lah. Okay, for you to practice the lab exercises lah. Okay. Okay, the objectives for to the session as follows. Okay, by the end of this lab, students should be able to understand the web address and web server concept, right? Okay. Secondly, you should be doing the installation of Apache Tomcat and configure the Tomcat server. Okay, right. So alternatively, okay, you may also install XAMPP. Okay. XAMPP is something what we call as the web authoring tools, right, in which you can easily create a web pages, okay, and you can have a web server, okay, right. So you can have a web server, okay, in which your PC, okay, you can make your PC as a web server, right? And you can store your web files there, right? And then you can access the files as if you are connecting to the internet, right? Okay, so the thing is, you need to do in the last part, okay, you need to install Tomcat, Tomcat, right? As well as the other one is Java, okay, GRE, okay, okay, GRE is Java, okay, okay, right? Okay, so Java also they have several development tools, okay, such as JDK, okay, or if you want to develop web pages, you may use Dreamweaver, okay, right? Dreamweaver and so on lah. Okay, so you can find out, okay, the latest web authoring tools, okay, to develop your own website, okay, ataupun to develop your own web page lah, website or web page. Okay, you may use Dreamweaver, okay, or the simplest one, you can just use the Notepad. Okay, you can also use Notepad, okay, in order to develop a very simple web pages, okay, something like this. Okay, okay. Can you see my Notepad, class? Can you? Can you see, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you might as well develop your own simple web pages by using Notepad lah. Okay, but if you're using Notepad, you need to have a hard coded HTML or programming web pages knowledge lah, right? Okay, so you might as well use a tools, okay, or software that can easily helps you just by picking any suitable template. Okay, so there are also ready-made template you can use to develop your own web pages. Okay, or you can use using the web authoring tools such as Dreamweaver and so on. Okay, so that's what I'm telling in the earlier stage. Okay, it is good if we do it as a is asynchronous mode. Okay, but you need to install first lah all the software such as Tomcat and so on. Okay, so I hope you are clear that the main objectives for today's lab as follows. Firstly, we just like to explain, or we just like to elaborate about the anatomy of URL. Okay, okay, what is the details for URL or the web address? Okay, okay. So when we talk about http.utem.edu.my or the URL, okay, right? Okay, how can we break it up into specific anatomy? Okay, right. Okay, so we continue. Okay, okay. So for this week topics, it is the topic is actually about client server architecture. Okay, right. Client server. Okay, okay. Client server. Okay, the simplest one is the accessing the web pages. Right. Let's say you are about to access the IUTEM portal. Okay, let's say you are about to access IUTEM portal. Okay, so it is actually a client and server interaction, right? Okay, so your laptop or your smartphone is actually the client. Okay, so your PC is equivalent to the client. Okay, right? Okay, but if only your PC, which is not connected to internet, okay, and it's not connected to the UTEM server, okay, so it is not a client server architecture. So in order to access the IUTEM portal, okay, you need to access, okay, to the server, okay, which is the IUTEM portal lah, or UTEM server lah, okay. So the IUTEM portal is the server, so it is equivalent to the server, right? Okay, so this is what we call as client and server architecture. Your PC as a client, okay. Okay, and the UTEM portal is as the server. Yeah, let me clear this one first. Okay, okay, so the UTEM portal is the server. Okay, right? Okay, this is what we call as client server interaction, right? So in order to access your SMP and so on, okay, you need to connect to the server. Okay, server from the word serve. Okay, serve means that the UTM server will serve your needs. Let's say you as a client actually is requesting some services, right? Okay, so server will provide the services in which, let's say, you want to know your CGPA, or you want to do the pre-registration, means that you will request from the UTEM server, okay, in order to provide the access to the SMP. Okay, so I hope you can get a brief idea about the concept of client server, right? Okay, so as the first part, okay, we will discuss about basic web server activities lah, ataupun web accessing activities. Okay, so what is a web server? A web server is a program, okay, using a client server model. Okay, let's say you want to access your Google Gmail, right? So your PC as a client, okay, and the Gmail is the server lah. Is gmail.com is the server, okay, and the World Wide Web, okay, hypertext protocol, okay, is the protocol. So the www or HTTP is what we call as protocol. Okay, okay. So this is the first part that we are going to discover. Okay, in which we will break up the URL into specific anatomy. Okay, okay, okay. Serve the files. Okay, that form web pages to web user whose computers contain HTTP clients that forward their requests lah, like the one that I mentioned just now lah. Every web server has an IP addresses. Okay, as you know, okay, commonly, okay, you will type www.utem.edu.my. Okay, so wait, my laptop is like so type this URL. Okay, to access the utem.edu.my. Okay, okay, but alternatively, right? Okay, so the one that you are typing now we call as the URL. Okay, but for machine like we have discovered earlier, okay, uh, only understand numbers, right? Understand numbers. So actually I'm opening command prompt, but my PC is lagging. Okay, right? Okay, so alternatively, okay, for you as a human, we can easily remember this URL, which is English language, right? Let's say we are thinking about accessing the UTEM website. So for us human, we can easily remember, oh, if you want to access a UTEM website, we can just type utem.edu.my. But for machine, for the routers, okay, for the switches, okay, they only familiar with numbers. Okay, therefore, actually, there will be the task of DNS, domain name server, to translate from IP address into URL or into your website address lah. So in order for that, you may ping www. I'm not sure whether this one is achievable or not because sometimes it is have a restriction. Okay, but we'll try. Okay. Sorry. Okay, as you can see here, okay, you can see the IP address, right? So this IP address is actually the address of UTEM server. So alternatively, okay, so let me put side by side or else it will be gone. Okay, okay, you may type, okay, gone. Okay, okay, alternatively, okay, kalau if you don't want, you may also type, okay, HTTP, then you type 10.1.2.10, right? Okay, this is what we call as IP address, which is similar to, okay, you type HTTPS, okay, www.utem.edu.my. Okay, so I hope you are clear lah. So the task of translating from this URL or address, okay, or English address to IP address is being done by DNS. So this task is done by DNS lah, right? Okay. So that is the main thing that we have discovered in the earlier weeks lah. Okay, right. Okay, IP, every web server have as IP address and possibly a domain name lah, right? So afterward we will discover lah the details for each IP addresses. For example, if you enter the URL utem.edu.my index.html in your browser, it send a request to the web server whose domain name is utem.edu.my. So I hope you can see here, okay, from this details URL, okay, we can break it up into specific anatomy, okay, such as www.utem.edu.my. Okay, it is what we call as a domain. Okay, so this is what we call as a domain. Okay, class, clear so far? Clear? Before we proceed, I need your response. Then
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. What about HTTP? Okay. What is HTTP? HTTP is for what? If you break it up, this URL into specific anatomy. Okay. I give you a hint. P is for what, class? P? P is for what? Okay.
Protocol.
Protocol. Very good. T, right? Am I right? T,
Yeah, right.
Okay, very good. T. Right. Okay, so the HTTP is what we call as protocol. Okay, so this is the first moral of the story that we're going to discover in our lab today lah. The first part we will break it up into specific anatomy. So I hope you are clear about it lah. Okay, right. So I'm thinking of finishing this lab soon as possible because it is quite brief and you need ample of time for you to start developing your own web pages, in which I believe you have done it in your web programming class or you have done it in Bengkel 1 or whatever subject earlier lah. Okay, right. Okay, understanding the web address anatomy. So this is our first objective. Okay, internet address and web address. Okay, the internet relies on addressing system to send data and information to computer at specific destination. Okay, IP addresses, just the one that I mentioned just now. Okay, you can type IP addresses or you may type the address using English language. Right, either one are supposed to be okay, supposed to be fine lah. But it is the task for the NSA to translate from your English language into decimal numbers lah or IP addresses. Okay. Okay. So the internet protocol address, okay, is numbers that uniquely identify each computer. So let's say for UTM server, okay, the address for UTM server is different address with Google server. Okay. Okay, same goes to your laptop or same goes to your smartphone. Also, every devices connected to the internet will have unique IP addresses. Okay, okay, the IP addresses usually consist of 4 octet lah, just like the one that you have learned in Datacom and in our earlier week. Okay, this is the first octet. Okay, 14 second octet, 207, and finally the 99 is the fourth octet. It consists of 4 segments. Okay, for decimal number. Okay. All numeric IP addresses is difficult to remember. Okay, for us human, we difficult to remember. Okay, okay. We difficult to remember 10.1.2.10 is for utem.edu.my, right? Okay, so this is the reason why we have the DNS works at the background to translate from your English URL or from your English address into IP address to find the specific server. Okay. Okay, does internet supports the use of text name and represent one or more IP addresses lah. Okay, a domain name is the text version of IP addresses. Okay, right. So you can see here, this is the common IP address that you type in command prompt like this. You will perform IP config or you ping. Okay, ping is to find the IP address of the server lah. Let's say you want to find the IP address for Google. We may try www.google.com.my. Okay, so you can see here, okay, for Google server, you can see the IP address is different. Okay, you can see 142.50.191.35. It is different with UTM server. Okay, okay, because every server need to have, or every nodes need to have different unique IP addresses. Okay, so that it wouldn't be conflict in the internet world. Okay, right? So as a comparison, okay, okay, so this is the IP address, the actual IP address of google.com. Okay, and for you human, you can easily remember this google.com, right, to access Google. But for machine, they only understand numbers, right? So this is the task for DNS. Okay, a translator, we call as DNS, to translate, okay, from English language into IP addresses, right? Okay, so we go in depth. Okay, every domain contains a top level domain, which is the last section of domain name. Okay, a generic TLD or top level domain such as the .com. Okay, as you can see here, if we break it up, okay, okay, we can see the top level domain is .com. Okay, so I cannot highlight here, so I'm supposed to use this one. Okay, okay, so this is what we call as TLD or top level domain. Okay, right? Okay, and this is the subdomain. Okay, this is the subdomain. Okay, and the Google is the domain. Okay, domain is the Google or the server name. Okay, right? Okay, so you have find out the TLD is the top level domain, which is the .com. Okay, which is the last section of the domain name lah. Okay, okay, the generic TLD such as .com is the above example identifies the organization associated with the domain, right? Okay, so .com is normally referring to the commercial. Okay. What about UTEM? UTEM dot what? Okay, right? Okay, so we find out what is the domain for UTEM, right? Because I've shown you for Google, this .com. .com is for commercial, right? Okay, so we have education, okay, and so on lah. Okay, and we have country and so on. Okay, all right. Okay, a web page has a unique address called URL or Uniform Resource Locator lah. Okay, example of the home page for University Technical Malaysia Melaka as follows. utem.u.my is the web address. Okay, okay. So the web browser is actually a software. It is just like Microsoft Word. Okay, so if you have a .doc file, okay, but if your PC you didn't install Microsoft Office or you didn't install Microsoft Word, you're not able to open the .doc file, right? Okay, same goes to the web page or web file. Okay, if you want to open a web file, you need to have a web browser. Okay, it is a software to open a web file or to access a web pages or web addresses lah. Okay, right. Okay, we fast forward to the web address anatomy, right? Okay, anatomy means that it is just like anatomy of our body lah. Okay, it means that we break up our body into several limbs lah, such as we have the head, okay, we have the skeleton, okay, okay, we have the bones, okay, and so on. Okay, so the anatomy is actually to break this up down into more details part. Okay, okay, the web address consists of a protocol. Okay, so all this I should minimize the size. Okay, okay, tak nampak. Okay, web address consists of protocol. Okay, domain name. Okay, sometimes they have path. Okay, sometimes also they state the file name. Okay, okay, many web pages begin with HTTP, right? Okay, so for HTTP is a short form for hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, this anatomy we call as the protocol. Okay, so anybody please help me to answer this question. Answer the following question. Name each part of the web address shown in figure 6.1. Okay, anybody want to answer the simplest one? Number one, state your name and give the answer. What is this? HTTP is for what, class?
Protocol.
Protocol. Nama? Nak bagi boleh smart. Nama?
Malam.
Mala. Very good, Mala. Okay. Okay, what about mail? Okay, so for the time being, you look for the details lah. Okay, right. Okay, what about mail? Okay, what about utem.edu.my? Okay, and what about web.2012? Okay, so this is a common question, and I need to tell you. Okay, I give the clue now. Okay, okay, starting from lecture 6. Okay, lecture 6 lah. Okay, starting from this week until the end. Okay, the lecture content will be included in final exam. Okay, right. So until lecture 5. Okay, from lecture 1 until lecture 5. Okay, the content will be covered in midterm exam. Are you clear, class? Jelas? Clear? Clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, so from this week onwards, we'll be covered in final exam. Okay, anybody want to give a try? What is number 2, class? 2 is for what? Siapa nak dapat bonus mark yang senang-senang ni? Okay, just tell, tell me if any of you want to answer any of the number. Which number?
Number
Number 2. Okay, nama? Your name? Name please, and the answer.
Aini.
Okay,
Subdomain.
Dasha ini. Subdomain. Okay, the rest get your friend's answer. Okay, what about utem.edu.my? Anybody want to answer? Protocol. Number 3. Who is that? How is it?
Domain name.
Domain name. T, right?
Yep. T.
Okay, Tay, very good.
I hope.
My excellent student. Okay. So Tay was mentioning this domain name. Okay. Right. Okay. What about number 4? Anybody? Protocol Mala, right? Betul. Mala ke?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Number 4. Anybody? Quick. Still a simple question. The later one will be much more difficult question. You may Google. Nobody will see you. You no need to be shy. Okay. So you are not answering in front of the class. Okay. So just to wake you up lah. What about number 4? Anybody? Just answer. Well, doesn't matter if your answer is incorrect or anybody? Yang lain yang belum dapat bonus mark lagi. Anybody? So find out. So find out the solution for the answer. Okay. So this is the thing that you need to know lah in order to describe about the details anatomy for web addresses. Okay. Right. Okay. And then I'm not telling you whether your friend's answer is correct or wrong now, because I want you to think. Okay. I want you to think, and later on I need you to answer the following questions. Okay. Check whether your friend's answer is correct. Okay. Or else lah. Okay. It doesn't matter. Even though the answer is incorrect, they will always get the bonus mark because they have initiative to provide the answer. Okay. Okay. The later part, you need to explain the definition of each part. Okay. So let's say this is the protocol. So you need to explain what is the meaning of protocol. Okay. And then what is the meaning of subdomain, and what is the meaning of domain name. Okay. And which part is the TLD. Okay. Right. Okay. So that one you need to identify lah. Okay. Right. Okay. So the following part, consider the following URL. Identify the anatomy of web addresses for the following. Okay. Right. So I think the first one will be the simplest one. Okay, which is the protocol. Okay. It's the protocol. Okay. Right. Okay. So you need to answer the rest lah. So my is the country. Okay. My is the country. Okay. Right. So I give you some of the tips here lah. Okay. And even though here you can see they will describe the domain. Okay. You need to find out, okay, the TLD. What is the top level domain, and what is the country from this domain? Okay. Which part is the top level domain, and which part is the country, and so on. Okay. Right. So you have to fill up. Okay. Okay. Later on you need to answer the you need to submit to the link given. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. That's why I'm saying that for today's lab, it is actually more towards practice. Okay. Okay, rather than a detailed lecture. Okay. Right. Okay. So the following question: browse the internet and document the following for each of the sites. Okay. So you have to find out the host name. Okay. Okay, and then tell me which one is a top level domain. Okay, right. Okay, and then you may find out what is the site category. Okay. Okay, so it's supposed to be a very easy part lah. If I'm considering you are in year 3, okay, as a senior like a student, suppose you not having any problem lah. Okay, right. Okay, so we almost reached the end of our brief lab today. Okay, okay. So I believe I have shared the lab notes earlier. So I'm not sure whether you have done early research, or uh, uh, you have practiced earlier before we start our class. Because in order to continue with this second part, okay, you need to follow the steps given, and you need to complete the installation requirements lah. Okay, right. Okay, so for the first part, we have identified the anatomy of web addresses. Okay, right. So the second part is much more interesting part, in which you will create your own web server. Okay, right. Okay, can you tell me, in your recent days, you have done PHP programming, right? Web programming, right? Am I right? Betul, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, very good. So what is the software that you use? Anybody can answer me. Okay, what is the web server you use? Or the software you use? Anybody? You can recall back what you have learned earlier.
Damn.
You pakai apa? Again?
Zen.
XAMPP, right? Okay, so you are using XAMPP. Okay, right. So the XAMPP will consist of Apache, right? Am I right? Okay, consists of can consist of any other web server lah. Okay, can consist of any web server, and as well as can consist of a database lah. Okay, can consist of SQL database. Okay, as well as web server. Okay, web server. Okay, this is the two tools that required lah in order for you to develop and to store your own web server. Okay, so the in the recent days you have done using XAMPP, right? Because XAMPP is the simplest one, something like this, eh? Am I right? Betul? Okay, so we have Apache here, and we have the MySQL, right? So whenever you have installed XAMPP, can you see the XAMPP class? Can you see? Boleh? Can you see class my XAMPP?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, so this is the most important component lah for web server. Okay, you need to up the web server, which is the Apache, and then you can perform the database such as MySQL. Okay, right. So normally we using using this module, okay, to develop your PHP web pages, right? Okay, and as you can see here, this is the port. Remember, port 80 is for HTTP, right? In order to store HTTP files. What about port 443? Anybody can give me a answer so that you can get bonus mark? 443 is for what, class? You can Google. The fastest student can get bonus mark. 443 is for what? Port 443 is for what? Quick. You can Google. The quicker you Google or quicker you ask ChatGPT, the quicker we can end our online lab today. 443 is for what?
HTTP.
480 is for HTTP, right? Okay. What about 443? Anybody? Quick, yang belum dapat bonus mark.
HTTPS default port.
Come again?
HTTPS default port.
HTTPS, secure HTTP. Okay, name, your name?
Nelson.
Nelson, oh, very good. One of my student harapan saya. Okay, very good. Listen. Right. Okay, so you know lah. Okay, so whenever we involve with web files, so you may use the HTTP, or you can use secure HTTP or HTTPS. Okay, then what about MySQL? So MySQL is using port 3306, so you can find out from here. Okay, right. So in order for you to be able to use your web server, you need to install the XAMPP. Okay, and your files you need to store in htdocs, right? Okay, so you can see here your files you will store in htdocs, and you can specify any of the subfolder. Okay, right. Okay, but for our lesson today, okay, you can use Tomcat. Okay, Tomcat is another tools that you can use to host a web server. Okay, right. Okay, so the step as follows. Okay, right. So you need these tools. Okay, so you need the administrator right. Okay, let's say you are using the PC in the lab, you need to have the administrator right. Then only you can install the Tomcat and GRE, or Java Runtime Environment. Okay, right. Okay, and not mistaken, the latest Tomcat is Tomcat 10. Okay. right? If you refer to the link given, okay, so you have to download. You have to download this Tomcat installer here. Okay, so if you click here, okay, the latest version of Tomcat is which is the stable one. Okay, because you know the software is keep improving. Okay, and they have the latest update. Okay, but the latest stable version is version 10. You can install from this link given here, free of charge. Okay, right. Okay, so firstly, you need to to install the Java runtime environment. Okay, so before you can start doing your programming, you have to install the JDK or GRE. Okay, right. So you can download from here. Okay, Oracle here. Follow this link, or you can just right click and copy this URL and then paste to your browser, and then you can download it. Okay, so install the JDK using the default setting. So you no need to crack your head to think about the specific settings. Just next until the end. Okay, right? Okay, so this is the steps that you need to be done in your laptop or in a PC lab lah. Okay, right? Okay, secondly, after you have installed the Java Development Kit or GRE, okay, you need to install something like XAMPP lah. Okay, in all this you install XAMPP, right? Okay, you install XAMPP, and then you can host your web server, right? Okay, for this case, okay, you may install another software called as Apache Tomcat. Okay, Apache Tomcat, bentuk dia kucing, right? So you can just click to this website and then download installer and then follow the step by step given. Okay, right? So you just click next, okay, to the following screen, and then okay, here you just follow the default setting. Okay, right? Okay, but here, okay, you need to do the specific setting. Okay, server shutdown port, you put it as 8005. So when you see about 8000, so it means that it deals with 80 means that it deals with HTTP. Okay, right. So the range of ports can be used in HTTP is starting from 80 and so on, 8005, 8080. Okay, so in order to connect to your website, okay, or your web server, so you state as 8080. Okay, so, and then for this one is default lah, 8009, and then just click next. Okay, just click next, and then okay, you will get your following screen, and then just click next and next again using the default setting. Okay, and finally you click finish. Okay, run Apache Tomcat. Right. Okay, after you have finished keying your installing your Apache Tomcat, okay, now in order to test whether your laptop, okay, can be a web server, okay, you can type this command. Okay, you can type this command. Okay, right. Okay, right. For now, you are setting your HTTP is using port 8080, right? So you have to type using this command H8080. Okay, but I'm using XAMPP. Okay, for XAMPP, my port is 80, right? So I just put 80 lah. Okay, so you may type here. Okay, HTTP, and then localhost. Okay, and then you put it as 80. Okay, so it is something like this, right? So this is example of one of the web server. Okay, so normally, okay, it will whenever you are doing or you are typing this command, okay, normally it will link to a file we call as index.html by default. Okay, by default, okay, it will refer to this file which is index.html. Even though just now you didn't state the file name index.html, right? You just put it as a port number, right? 80. Okay, so it will refer to index.html. Okay, so I hope you're clear about it. Okay, so this is just to test your settings lah. Okay, right? Okay, so once it is done, okay, even though you have not keying any web file or HTML file or PHP file, okay, there will be a default page when you type this one. Okay, now if you have successfully installed the web authoring tools such as Tomcat and so on. Now you can start typing your first program. Okay, so this is the settings for Apache Tomcat. Okay, so I hope you can explore in details. Okay, right? Okay, and for Apache Tomcat, okay, it is not the same with XAMPP. Okay, if in XAMPP, okay, normally you need to refer to the docs folder. Am I right, class? Is it correct for XAMPP? Class, is it correct? Betul tak? Kalau XAMPP, okay, all your files you need to put inside the XAMPP and htdoc folder. Am I right? Betul tak, class?
Yes.
Betul?
Betul.
Correct,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, but for Apache, if you're using Apache Tomcat, okay, it will be a different folder. Okay, same goes to IIS. Okay, kalau you tak gunakan XAMPP or you didn't use Apache Tomcat, you are using Microsoft Internet Information Services (IIS). Okay, so you need to use folder C and then inetpub. Okay, inetpub, and then you need to put in folder ww root. Okay, ww root different. Okay, kalau you tak gunakan XAMPP or you are not using Apache Tomcat, okay, if you are using Microsoft, you need to save in inetpub and then worldwide root, which is internet public for public, and then worldwide root. Okay, but if you are using the Tomcat, okay, it is also different. Okay, you are not saving in htdoc. Okay, you are not saving in htdoc, but your file, okay, you need to store in Tomcat Apache software. Okay, right after you install the Apache, so there will be a default folders lah, all the files. Okay, you can have Apache software and then Tomcat. Okay, and then you need to have another folder we call as the web apps. Okay, and all your files you need to save in web apps. Okay, you need to save in web apps. Okay, I hope you're clear about it. Okay, so we will start doing our first program. Okay, right? Okay, so it is a simple task. The second task is you need to open the simple authoring software, such as you can always use the apa ni? You can use the notepad. Okay, you can use the notepad. Okay, so I put it side by side. Okay, okay, you can use the notepad. I put it side by side first. This one. Okay, right. Okay, you can create your first homepage as follows. Okay, right. So yang ni kita open, I open this one. Hold on, docs. What's that? Okay, so I create a folder here. Okay, so this one I open with. So open again. Open. Let's see. First dot. This dot. This. Okay. Right. Open. Okay. Okay, so you can do our first program here. You can open one of the apa ni? You can open the web authoring tools. The simplest one is a notepad. Okay, let me enlarge the size. Okay, right, you can use the notepad. Okay, right, you can type the the first program as given in the lab notes. Okay, type the HTML. Okay, and then type the body. Okay, and then you can type your first header. Okay, which is you can modify so that you can enhance your critical thinking ability, right? Okay, right, you can put anything. Okay, right, if you have done all the coding, okay, you can try to run your first program, okay, or your first web file. Okay, kat mana kejap. Okay, so you may type here. Okay, right. Okay, so this is your first program that you have typed. Okay, the program that you have key in just now. Okay, and then okay, you need to type localhost. Okay, so actually the localhost. Okay, okay, I put it side by side. Okay, as you can see here, the folder localhost here is referring, okay, to the folder htdocs. Okay, htdoc I think you are familiar lah because you have done XAMPP, right? Okay, but for my case, I have a path here because I want to differentiate different web server. So I can see here I have several projects lah. So I can have e-final project system. Okay, I can have e-appointment system, right? Okay, so the one that we are doing now, I put under folder BITS 2513. Okay, and in here, okay, okay, and this is your program. Okay, you can type okay the local host and then the path, okay, which is BITS 2513, and then the file name, okay, or the web file name. Then you press enter. Right? Okay, so you can try to modify here. Okay, let's say you want to remove this part. Okay, you remove this part. Okay, and then you put here TSR address ke tambah. Okay, right. Okay, so once you have done, okay, you can go to file and then you can save. Okay, and then here, okay, you can press enter or refresh lah. Okay, so this is your first program. Okay, right? Okay, so I believe this is the simple part, right? You have done it, the more advanced web programming. Am I right, class? Betul ke? Class, please respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I hope you get the moral of the story lah. So actually, this week topic is about client server. Okay, so when you talk about client server, you need to have an idea about overall client server architecture. It involves you as a client accessing the server, right? Okay, and then the second part, okay, you need to refresh back your knowledge on web programming, okay, because you can also create your own website, and then you can develop your own web pages, okay, and you can have your own web server. Therefore, your friends can access your web server, okay, such as you want to do online sales, okay, right? Therefore, you can develop your own web pages and websites, and then you can upload to any of the free web server. Okay, and then your friend or anybody in e-community, okay, can buy from you, and then you can generate some income. Okay, so that is the first part, which is the basic HTML. Okay, right? So you can update accordingly lah, right? Okay, the second part, okay, you may use the Java server page or JSP, right? Okay, so the JSP is the advanced part of web programming lah. Okay, in which by having a Java server page, you can have a dynamic coding. Let's say you want to have a latest date, right? Okay, therefore you can do the programming concept. Okay, so hello, the time is now. So you can generate, okay, the util.date means that they will generate from PC date or system date. Okay, so let's say your time now is 3:49. Okay, so it will generate automatically whenever you write this coding, right? But the syarat is you need to install the GRE, Java Runtime Environment. If not, okay, this coding cannot be run. Okay, right? So in order to run a dynamic codes, you have to install or download GRE. Okay, right? Okay, so this is the okay, the output of this coding. Okay, if you type, okay, hello, okay, the time is now, okay, and then you type the coding, so it will generate a time, okay, okay, based on your PC time, okay, based on PC time, okay, right, okay, and then you may as well get the input from user using the command get name, .jsp means that you can link between one page to another. Okay. Okay. So this is the file we call as the get name. Okay, you get name, get name. Okay. Okay, and then it will link with the file we call as save name. Okay. Okay, and then you save under my web app. Okay, right? Okay, so this is the output of the previous two web codes. Okay, right? Okay, so whenever you have done the 2 pages of this Java coding, okay, remember whenever you save your Java codes, okay, you are not saving as .html, okay, but you will save as .jsp, Java server page. Okay, okay, so you save as .jsp, not .html. Kalau .html, it will be a static page. Okay, right. Okay, so whenever you run the program, you type getName.jsp. Okay, getName.jsp. So this page will appear. Okay, whenever this page appear, okay, you put your input here. Let's say you put test, and then you click to submit. Okay, when you click to submit, it will call the following page. Okay, right? What is your name? Okay, so when you click submit, okay, so the following page will appear. Okay, so this one will be hidden. Okay, so the next page will appear, which is the name is test. Okay, right? Okay, so I think it is almost the end. Okay, so the rest of the activities I need you to do it. Okay, then you just get ready for my following instruction in Telegram. Okay, and then I will provide the submission link. Okay, right? Okay, so you need to do the following steps. Okay, you have already created a simple HTML and JSP file in previous steps. Okay, for the next activities, okay, work in pairs. Okay, okay, whatever method you are comfortable with lah. Okay, okay, let's say you comfortable to work in pair, you can work in pair. If you want to do in individual, because since maybe some of you stay in your hometown, you can do individually, whichever easier for you lah. Okay, choose one of the following activities. Make sure that your group 6 people covers all the activities lah. Okay, right? Okay, change the web app folder to different folder. Okay, create a simple HTML file and JSP file. Okay, okay, does it work as well? Okay, please give reason for that. Okay, okay, so let's say if you are typing the JSP file, okay, here, but you save as .html. Okay, I want you to find out, is it works or it doesn't works? Okay, you do a JSP routine, okay, but you save as HTML. Okay, then you try to run whether it works or not. Okay, right. Okay, and then create an HTML file contain various tools font size. Okay, so you can have several font size lah. Okay, just like mine just now. Mana tadi? Okay, so you can see here I have several font style. Okay, header different styles, paragraph different style. So you can test your ability, your critical thinking abilities. Okay, you can try to use different font size, or you can try to format to different colors. Okay, right. Okay, and then self-review question. Okay, explain how to access your web page from other PC in the same network. Okay, explain with step-by-step instruction how to change Tomcat's port number from 80 to 8080. Okay, okay, if you can see here, right? Okay, you can always change the port here. Okay, you can click the config lah. Okay, and you can change the port for them. Okay, so I want you to find out how to change the port for Apache Tomcat. Okay, right. Okay, and finally answer what are the differences between IIS, Tomcat, and web server. Okay, with that indicates the end of our lab session today. Right? Okay, before we end, I would like to ask you, when you think you can submit this, Friday or next week? please give me
Next week.
your opinion before I give my decision. When you think you can submit?
Next week, sir.
Next week.
Next week, sir.
Okay. What about Tuesday? Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Tuesday. Okay. Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. I think with that, I would like to thank for those that attended this session. Let me see the participants. Okay. Right. Okay. So let me snap your attendance. Actually, I can check your detail attendance later lah. Okay. Okay, except for those that have a co-curriculum lah. Okay. Okay, class. Before we end our session, okay. So most of you in UTM or still in your hometown about Friday lecture. Anybody will be in hometown or so many in hometown or majority already in UTM? Please provide some info for BITM for Friday lecture. Majority in UTM or still hometown? Since tomorrow is public holiday. Quick, give some input. All in UTM, eh? Okay, so I will decide whether our lecture on Friday will be done face to face or online. Okay. Okay. So with that, I think that's all from me. Okay. So I hope you will be returning back to UTM. Okay. And stay safe, everybody. Yeah. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Thanks to all for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.